Okay, so I'm gonna try and start a new series where I picked a random opening. I kind of decided on a few moves, and I'm just gonna take those few moves, and I'm gonna try and upgrade it over time, and see if I can get it to at least 5 done. Off to a rough start, but it should work out over time. My main reasoning for doing this is I think people focus too much on the opening, and I feel like for at least amateur levels, that's the least important part of the game. Most games are won or lost at middle game and end game. The opening doesn't really matter, just as long as you play the right direction and trying to play the best moves you can. But anyway, let's get started. Looks like I'm white. Hope everyone's having a good day today. And this is the new opening I'm going to try. Whether I'm black or white, it's going to be this high move and then followed by this move. So he took the corner first. This stone's kind of floating here. It can attach here or here, so it's pretty flexible. So we're just going to go ahead and take this corner because he did not take it. And he plays here. So this feels kind of bad because I have a high stone here. So if I 3-3, he can't really use this wall. It doesn't feel very good for him. So we're just going to play this here. I'm almost tempted to cut because I have this stone here. But if we look at that, what does he do? We go here, if he Ataris here, we capture, he does this, it gets cut off. So it's probably better to just Hane here. Okay. And push one more time, because that makes our corner group a lot stronger. Okay, so he cuts. So we have some stones here and here. He also has some stones here. This group is also pretty weak, especially with this here. It's almost at the vital point. So of course our corner's alive. We're going to cut. He goes here. We're going to extend up. And even if he tries something like this, it doesn't feel like it really works too well because we could just push Atari, and then we have like these moves threatening to cut. But first we will press down these two stones. Okay, so he does play here. If we push right away, this gets rid of my liberties on my own group. And I can't just cut right away. I can threaten to cut, but he just defends, and then I don't have that many liberties. So before that, we're going to try to expand our liberties by threatening the stones he has over here. And because our corner is just 100% alive, we don't ever have to worry too much about this. Hard to say what to do next. If I go here, he probably just goes here. And then I want to try to connect to this stone. But I can also try attaching, which might make it a little bit easier, because if I go here, he defends. I can maybe just connect or go up, then I'm pretty much connected. So we'll go ahead and try this attach, because we want to try and make our stones connected and have the best shape possible. If he tries to like push through and capture, we just Atari. Yeah, I'm surprised he actually did it. But yeah, we just Atari and sacrifice stuff, and it should help us get a nice shape on the outside. If he's gonna push through here, he has to cut somewhere. Because now he just made my group much stronger, and I got to do it for free. So I still have this cut here, and if I sacrifice, he captures, I connect. He captures the two stones, but my group gets a nice wall on the outside, and I'm connecting to these stones. So these are the cutting stones. These are the ones that are cutting off this group. So these stones are the ones that are important, not these stones. So if he cuts, we will just sacrifice those two stones, connect, and then we're still connected here. So we could push and here and then threaten to cut, but it does get rid of our liberties here, and he might push this way and cut this way, which could give us some more weaknesses because we filled in our own liberties. So instead of pushing directly, we're going to play this one, which is threatening to push and cut, and is also trying to prevent this group from getting a base. Okay, so he attaches because he's going to try and live. We're not going to try too hard to kill. We're just going to try to keep this group as strong as possible and make potential on this side over here. He goes here. Our corner needs to live. So if he connects, we'll go ahead and play here. So we should be 100% alive. He has maybe one eye here, so he needs to find another eye or run out to the center. He can cut, and I probably just Atari and play here. Or maybe I can even just sacrifice these 2 stones and then get Sensei to play something over here to develop this side. Instead he plays here. Of course, we're going to connect. This makes this cutting point stronger because if he does cut, we can just net. And this is still not 100% alive. So yeah, he has to add a move here. And if I play here later, if he blocks this way, we can push, and this doesn't count as an eye. So he still has to be a bit careful, but we're not going to do it right away, because if we do it right away and he runs out, this doesn't really have any effect on the rest of the game. So we're going to run this way, which is threatening to surround and kill, but is also trying to connect to our weaker groups over here, and it's also trying to grow this area. Okay, so he tries to run out. So we have a cutting point here, and we want to defend this cutting point. But we also want to try and connect. So we can also look at moves like this or this. If we play here, he has moves like this, which can be kind of annoying. And so if we play here, he attaches, we connect, he can cut off 2 stones. If we play here, he plays here. If we try to go here, he can cut. We connect. And he can't play here because it's a self-Atari, right? No, he has 2 liberties, so he can cut. So it looks like we can't really connect right away, so we're just going to protect our cutting point, also giving us some eye shape. So I think this group is okay, because we can play here to get an eye here, and we're out to the center. So we don't want to push, because we're pushing him into our weak group, and we help him get rid of our own eyes. So we're not going to push, but instead we're going to play a nice move. So this is growing this area, and again is threatening. So he does this one. So now, again, we'll just extend here. And because this group is so weak, I feel like we should be okay here. We can still attach here. We can run out to the center. We pretty much already have one eye. He can kind of get rid of it. He can play here, here, and here. This one doesn't quite work as well. It is Sente, but I think this one works better. If he plays here and we block, he can Atari and connect here. But it's Gote, but it does get rid of the eye. This one, we connect. He can't play here because we can just capture. So he can push here, getting rid of this eye. But if we can connect, we don't really care if he pushes and gets rid of this eye. But if we play here right now, he pushes, he can cut. I'm not too worried about it, but it is safer to just go here. Because if we go here, this is always Sente for black. So he can get rid of this eye and Sente. And then he can push and cut. And he can still live. So we would have to play lots of moves. So it's better just to defend our eye and then move on. So we're going to play here again, trying to connect all of our groups up and again build the potential over here. So we made this wall so big that even if he lives at the bottom here, it should be pretty easy to shift our potential to this side and still have some potential in the center. So we're just going to back off. We're not going to do anything too greedy. So direction. If we just defend the corner, he goes here, and we can still press down. And we also can play Sente to play at the top corner and again grow this area. We can also pincer. But when you pincer here, we're using this wall to make points and not attack. Pushes here. So we're not too worried about him playing here and here. But I want to keep this group weak. And again, we don't want to use this area to make points. We want to use it to attack. So if we pincer here, he just Hane connects and he's pretty much already alive here. But after this one, he's still not alive. He still has to make a base, and he went way too far. So there is some cutting points here, but I don't think this is in too much trouble. So we can play something like this later. But right now, I think this is a little too small. And we do have some weaknesses over here. So trying to attack now doesn't seem like the best idea. But we do have some center stones here. So we're going to go ahead and approach here and try to develop our area first. because this is still the opening. So the biggest moves are going to be in the corners and the sides, and then trying to grow the potential you have. And then once we're done with that, then we can start thinking about invasions. So he plays here, so he's trying to get the corner. But if he plays here, we just jump. We're still developing some stuff here. We still have some center potential. So I think we're going to go ahead and pincer here. So if he does something like this, we can just kind of crawl into the corner. He loses his corner. Playing something like this is just too greedy because he's alive in the corner. He can just push and cut. So I think we're just going to try and make a base here. So he pincers this. So we lose a little bit of our potential, but our potential is just kind of shifted from this side to this side. So if we play here, he can attach. He builds a really nice corner. And we're not really using our potential here, which this can be shoulder hit, but we can use it to attack. So instead of playing here, we're going to play a little bit more active, and we're going to kind of shoulder hit this. So if he goes here, we hane. If he just turns here, we go here, we're happy with the points. But when he hanes, we can play here. So he can capture this, but we just play here, connect, and now we have a lot of points here and potential in the center. So he plays here, trying to reduce that. This is very weak. So trying to attack it seems a bit hard right now. So we're going to defend, but this defending is also putting pressure on this black stone. And we're going to keep defending. I'm going to play the Kasumi because it's a little bit stronger and helps make this not as attackable. So now he's trying to live in this tiny area. This is a benefit to us because we still have some potential here. So we can still maybe shoulder hit or do something to get stuff here. It's a little too small to try and do right now. But he does kind of damage this area a bit, and then there's still Aji in the corner. But we're not going to try and kill. We're not just like directly throw in here and try everything to just kill it. We're just going to play nice, solid moves, make sure we have no weaknesses. And when we get the opportunity, we will Tanuki. But this looks very, very killable. But this group, there's still this peep here to where if I connect, he can cut off this single stone. And if he runs out, we could get potentially weak. So again, I'm going to play another defensive move, stopping him from running out. And he can still probably live. He just has to add a move here. Okay, he tries that one. So if we hane this way, he goes here. If we capture, he can Atari and get out. So we're just going to back off. He goes here. And we do have a cut here. So if he, well, he does this one. So now this one's kind of bad because now we can connect here and he goes here. He still needs to live. But if he just backed off simply, we had this cutting point that we had to worry about. We can capture it in a ladder, but we need a ladder breaker first. So he would have played a ladder breaker to make a few more points here and also kind of threaten to run this out because we could still block here. But he plays this one. So if we were to play this one, he goes here, we connect under, he pretty much is already alive. But now we are very strong here because he made us very connected. So now we can run out this group. And the stone is now very weak. Okay, so he does make a base. And so we have two options. We can play a move like this, which is kind of connecting everything. His corner has some potential Aji, but not too much. We can also try to press this down to build something at the center. I kind of like this one better. If we play here and he just defends, we kind of lose all of the potential of our center stones that we played a lot of. So we're going to try and use them. This group can potentially get weak, but we can attach here. We can play in the corner to live. So I don't think it'll ever be in too much danger. So now he can enter from this side. So if we block over here somewhere, we're not really protecting too much territory. So I want to play more towards the center. So we'll play here, which is growing this area and not this area. If he does try to cut these off, I just jump out, he captures, and we just kind of protect. We can also, I think I can just connect here, so that's probably better. Because I believe if he tries to run out, we can cut, and I think we just have more liberties. If he goes here, connects, we go here, he cuts, we just Atari connect, and we should be connected everywhere, and he damages his own corner. And remember, he extended too far here, so there is still weaknesses here. So he does jump out. We have lots of cutting points here. I don't want to play too far over here because that's making this weakness, it's fixing it. But we have cutting points. So I want to play a move over here that is fixing this cutting point. This fixes this cutting point and gives us some eye shape. And he does this one. It's not the worst move, but it just seems a little too wide. And I'm very strong here now. This group is pretty much alive. I have lots of stones in the center here. So invading this doesn't seem that difficult. Like if I just played this move, I can play this next, attaching to this group, or I can attach on the other side. Or maybe I can even run out to the center. So it just feels like a little too much weakness. So it's a little too fancy. He should have probably just defended with maybe a move around here, and things probably would have been okay. And this is probably the stronger side. So I think he defended the wrong side here. I would have played here because there's a chance you could Atari here and surround this group and it could get into trouble. But this connection is just a lot easier to connect than this one because here it's just very straight line, while this one there's a knight's move, which is easier to cut. But with this one, we can just kind of connect here. He has to go here. We connect. If he cuts, we can jump out to the center. And it just feels like there's a lot of weaknesses here. So yep, he does that one. We go here. And it feels like we're going to cut something off. So if he goes here, we jump out to the center. We play here, we cut off these stones. If we play here, we're cutting off these stones. So he captures this one. I'm not sure I like this one. I feel like this is the bigger group and is the weaker group. This one at least had a few eyes here. This one didn't. But this group is not 100% alive, but we can still kind of connect out or live, I think. And this is not 100% alive either. But since he did that, we're going to go ahead and cut these stones off. And we made this group stronger and has a lot less cutting points. There's still a few, but we can kind of just live with something like this. And now we're using all of this thickness to attack instead of making points, which is the more correct way of using it. But even then, I feel like we should be just ahead on points, even if we don't get all of the center and even if we don't kill this. Let's see if Score Estimator agrees. It says white about 15, but it does say I need to get some points here. Okay, so he's threatening to cut. So I could go here, but then he can push, threaten to cut again. If I played this one, because of this move, if he tries to push and cut, we can capture. So this feels like a much better connection. Although if he backs off here, now we probably have to connect, but he has less forcing moves. So it feels like we can go here, but if he pushes and cuts, we can't really cut here anymore. So it's probably safer just to play here. But now if he defends this one, we just Hane here and we're able to make a lot of points in the center. And he's not 100% alive. But if he plays anything else, later we can capture this stone. Okay, so he does do that one. If he pushes here, we just connect. He pushes again, we go here. He can capture. He makes some points here, but I think the center is bigger. And we will play this one. Because this is fully cutting off the center. His only entrance is over here. And he's not quite alive yet. Okay, so he tries that one. We can connect here, though. Maybe we can extend. So if we go here, he cuts. We can turn, sacrifice 2 stones, and we capture this. So I think I'll go ahead and extend here. He can try to push here and cut, but a majority of it is connected. And because of his liberties, we should be able to either sacrifice these stones and capture the center, or we should be able to save these stones. And that's because he's surrounded. He doesn't have 2 eyes yet. So it feels kind of difficult for him to do too much. So if I go here, he can play here. I can Atari. And he connects. Okay, so that doesn't quite work. So maybe this didn't quite work out for me. But let me see if there's anything else. If I push, I can Atari, but I can never really do anything else. I can try this one. where if he cuts here, I can Hane under. Not sure. We'll just connect. It seems like the safest move. I think I misread just a little bit here. But the main thing is we got to surround this, which is a lot of points. He still has some Aji here, but he's probably alive now. And this group is weak. His only entrance to the center is over here. So it feels like if I just play probably this one, the center should just mostly stay ours. I don't think he can reduce it too much. And we have really big endgame, because we can attach here, we can clamp here, there's Aji here. This is not quite alive because I can play this Hane here, but I think I'm a little too weak on the side to do that. Okay, so he's trying to connect his weakest group out, but I think we're pretty happy just taking the center here. But once he connects here, this group is not 100% alive, so we'll probably play a Knight's move here, trying to make sure it has plenty of eye space and get a few more points. So he cuts. So I could Atari here. He extends, I connect. If he Atari's here, I connect. He tries to cut, I go here, and he's not quite alive. So I believe I can just go here. He can Atari here, I connect, he has to extend, and then I play here. But I get this extra stone here, which is threatening to cut this off. And if he tries to capture that stone, I should have forcing moves that will help live here. And yeah. So I should be able to connect here, and his cut just shouldn't work. I have too many liberties. I think the net is probably the best move. If I play here, he can go here. I can't really play here. So I probably could have gotten into a little bit more trouble here, but my reading is not very good. Okay, so he does connect. We'll go ahead and respond here. This should be alive. He blocks. We'll go ahead and Hane and extend. And I really don't think he can kill this, but he's gonna try. So yeah, we'll just block here. He can go here, but then I think we just go here. We have Knight here and here. So even if he gets rid of this eye, it doesn't matter too much. If he pushes, maybe I can get into trouble. If he goes here, I have to connect. If he goes here, I connect. If he goes here, I connect. But when he pushes and tries to cut, I have one eye. So when he cuts, it's still alive, and then I can capture first because he has to get rid of all of his liberties to try and take advantage of this eye. Okay, so he goes there. He has to be very careful. There's a double Atari here. So if he Ataris, he goes here, I go here, he can Atari back, but I connect, he has to extend. It just doesn't feel like he has enough liberties. And then there's also this double Atari, which I would probably Atari this way. Because if I go here, he goes here, I capture this, he can probably still make an eye here. But if I go here and he doesn't connect and I capture all of it, much bigger. So he's trying to reduce my liberties. But I think I can go ahead and Hane and connect here. If he does this one, connecting under doesn't really give him anything. So I think I can go ahead and just defend here, threatening the double Atari. Okay. And after that, I think I'm fine. If he goes here, 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 it's not Sentai, so I just capture. So now we move on to endgame. So double Sentai first, which that's what this is, because this is Sentai, he goes here, I can do another Sentai. This one is Gote, this one also maybe Gote. So double Sentai first. This one is just Sentai. And then the order normally goes double Sentai, Sentai, reverse Gote, and then Gote. Not sure what he's trying to do here. We're just gonna cut. I do lose this one, but I can still play a monkey jump. And this clamp feels a little more Sentai than this one. Yep, especially if he just does that, because we just Atari. There's still some Aji here, but now we can play this clamp, which think I misread here. Last time I think I read here and go under, he makes an eye. But if he does that, I could just capture. So maybe I could potentially just go here. If he goes here, I go here. He has to connect. Maybe it's dead, maybe it's not. But he can go here. He threatens the Atari. So I'm just going to play safe and play here. And I should just be ahead. Because if he plays here, I probably need to just extend here. And then he can make this an eye. If I were to try and block, he could Atari and threaten to cut. So chances of killing it seemed a bit off. Unless I was able to just read everything. But yeah, we just push here. Shouldn't be any more weaknesses here. And I think that's the biggest in game. He can play this one, which is quite big. Connecting under is not as big unless it's Sente, which looks like it might be. So yeah, we'll go ahead and just capture this. We'll just defend. But I think he's playing quite well for a 5Q. I don't think he's made any really major mistakes. He's kind of lived everywhere. So he's doing pretty good. I think I'm pretty far ahead now, but it's only 21 points. I've played 3 Dons that I'd be winning by about 70. So I think he's doing pretty good. Yeah, we'll just extend, because why not? He goes there. This push is probably bigger, because then I can connect here and threaten the double Atari. So we'll go ahead and do that. Push here. Not really anything too big. We'll push here once. And if he pushes here, he has an Atari. I don't think it does anything. But we'll go ahead and do this one, because it looks pretty big. And then this one would also make this Sente. So we'll go ahead and push here. We can Atari. And not too many moves left. Yeah, we'll just start playing moves. I don't think it matters too much at this point, because I should just be pretty far ahead. Yeah, I jumped to 27 points. So yeah, anything should work at this point. As long as I don't die here. Maybe you can do a ko or something. But oh yeah, I got myself killed, didn't I? Oh well. Okay, so yeah, he wins. I blundered. But oh well, it happens. I was up by 27, so now it's black by 20. Okay, so yep, he wins. Too bad. If you found this idea entertaining, I'll probably be doing it more often. I really like the idea of creating my own Joseki or Fuseki and just slowly improving it over time. I'd like to thank all my Patreons, and I'll see you all next time.